Hey, now it's the Rob alongside my broadcast colleague.
Hey, it's Eric Cornish for WKEQ, and hope you had a good long holiday weekend.
That's right, and we have a lot to talk about today. This is a rare occurrence because of a holiday. We get to talk to you after Raw for at least while it's fresh in our minds.
Right.
I saw the show last night, and as per usual, I came around to your desk and kind of said, hey, did you see the show last night? And you were fired up.
Oh, I'm fired up, and I got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first, I'm going to let you go ahead and give your thoughts. What did you think?
Well, sure. Spoiler alert: Eric thought the show was awful, and I didn't think it was a bad show. I didn't think it was a good show particularly, but I thought I would call it a normal show. I enjoyed the match between RVD and Cesaro, but the ending was probably poor. I would have had more of a schmoz ending to make you want to see both matches more on Sunday. But the match quality was good. I liked the intensity that the final segment had, even though it was kind of a non-segment where nothing happened. And I'm kind of confused about the stipulation on Sunday. Is there I know that it's elimination rules.
Yes, and apparently it's also anything goes.
But is there a loser leaves Raw stipulation?
No, not that I understand.
They kept bringing up we're not going to see you on Raw ever again. Is there a loser must disband stipulation?
No, there's not.
Okay, so that was confusing to me too. The only thing I thought was lousy was Bo Dallas, and I thought that his debut was incredibly underwhelming. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's in particularly good shape. His match quality wasn't very good, and I wasn't excited about him. Actually, I should take it back. I was excited about him. I felt like he underdelivered big time to me, but I would say a normal Raw, maybe not a fantastic one, but you have a list of things that bothered you about last night.
I do. As a matter of fact, I have 5 things that would have made last night's Raw better, which I'm going to share with you. And first of all, I'm not going to put Bo Dallas on that list because I actually thought the character was all right, and it kind of got over with the crowd as being the cheesy, hey, I'm a almost DDP-esque from back when he was doing his motivational thing. And I didn't dislike that. I kind of liked how he hugged Sin Cara afterwards.
That stuff I liked.
I thought it was
and
cool.
I want to make very clear, the character I don't have a problem with. I just think that he's not quite ready yet.
Fair enough. Okay. Here are the 5 things to me that would have made Raw better last night because, as you said, I was not happy. And the more I watched it, the more unhappy I got. And usually, I'm pretty complimentary about Raw. But let's talk about this. From Knoxville, Tennessee last night, number 5, less talk, more wrestling. I'm not a guy who normally says that.
Okay.
But last night it was blatantly obvious. Here's what you got. That match that you talked about, Cesaro and RVD, could have been a great match. The problem was, it was only given about 3 minutes when you really think about it.
No.
It wasn't multiple segments, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Was it multiple
segments?
segments?
It was separated by at least one commercial.
Well, it wasn't long enough, I will tell you that much. There were quite a few other matches that I didn't think weren't long enough, that could have been longer and could have been good matches, but didn't turn out that way.
I know where you could shave space.
I do too, and I will
get
get there. But here's the deal, and really even more so than the short matches were the long promos because of last night's crowd and the reaction that they were getting. The opening promo with the Authority and Kane and Brad Maddox, it just drug on forever.
Yeah, but it resulted in Maddox getting fired, which I would think he'd be for.
And we'll get to that too, but it just drug on forever. Everything drug on forever. Even the Wyatt thing with Jerry Lawler took forever, and I didn't hate that segment. It just took forever. Cut down on the talking, get more wrestling in, and I think you'll be better. Now, speaking of that crowd last night, yes, they were not very vocal, and that hurt the show. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you this is Knoxville, Tennessee, okay? They're used to wrestling, and they're used to Southern wrestling, which is a really simple concept of heels and you really don't have to do much to change speed. But the one thing you don't do is give us 2 heels, one of which nobody cares about, Brad Maddox.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, nobody cares about Brad Maddox, and they're supposed to hate Kane. Why would they react to something?
Well, I think the booking there was that for the short term, Maddox was a face because you let the Shield in the match the week before.
At least the commentary told us that. He didn't even appear on last week's show, so all of that, it just completely went over everybody's head. And anybody who, didn't pay attention to what the commentators were saying last week, didn't even know Brad Maddox had anything to do with it.
That's a good point.
That was bad.
Let me ask you.
The other thing, I'm talking, the two divas. I mean, what's this? Layla and Summer, do we hate Summer? Do we all of a sudden, do we like, what's her name? Eva Marie?
Oh.
And then there's Layla and Fandango, and we're not supposed to like any of these people as far as we've been told up to this point. And if we're watching Total Divas, we don't like them either. So why should we care that any of them are fighting?
I never care when the Divas are fighting in the first place, so that's par for the course for me.
Now go ahead. Did you have something?
I did. When you said where we could shave space for that Cesaro match,
Yes.
were you talking about the promos?
That was part of it.
Because I have another place.
Okay.
I thought that the Rhodes Brothers match went very, very long.
See, I didn't. I thought that could have been a better match because I saw a spurt from Cody Rhodes where he looked excellent for about 90 seconds.
No, I thought the match was fine. It was just long.
Yeah, it kind of drags on when you've got
that had 2 commercial breaks, I think, if not more.
Yeah, and then and here's the other thing: why are none of the heels traditional cowardly heels? And that's the thing where I talk about in the South, and really it works anywhere. Heels have to have a little bit of cowardice in them, and nobody did last night. None of them, not even Hornswoggle, had the littlest bit of cowardice in him last night. They were all trying to be cool and trying to do their thing, and all the heels got over on the baby faces last night. Okay. You didn't have any heels that were running away with a little bit of scared in them, and that's a problem.
Can even Eric the Grinch admit that it was kind of cute when Hornswoggle stole Torito's tail?
And mildly funny when the doctor said, "I'm not a veterinarian." Okay.
That was pretty funny.
But still.
It was funny in a wrestling kind of way.
Exactly. It was one of those digs that, okay, yeah, I can handle that. Okay. So since we're talking about funny, I'll throw in a little humor here at number 3. Bring in a new character named Antonio Alexander Langston, who just stole all the names that all the other wrestlers dropped. And maybe he can find the TV title, too, and be the TV.
That's not a bad idea. Okay,
Antonio Alexander Langston. I
that
like
one
it.
I can
He
get
found
on.
all the old names.
He did all the name dropper.
Yeah, there we go.
He picked up all the drop names.
Number 2 that would make Raw better, and you're going to love this. Alicia Fox! More Alicia Fox! I'm loving her more and more every week.
Listen,
love her.
Some of my serious wrestling fan friends, they are right in line with you. They like this angle. I admit it's better than nothing, but that's the best I can say about it. Only slightly is it better than nothing. It is not natural for her. When she does it, I feel awkward for her.
I just think it's because none of the divas have had the chance to do anything. I think she's on her own. She's out there doing what she wants to do. I love it. I love Alicia Fox. She makes me care about the divas, and it was one of the better segments last night, in my opinion.
I was going to say that it does make me care. I want to see what she's going to do when the match is over. I never have thought it's been a good gimmick for her.
And best of all, number 1 thing that could have made Raw better last night, better use of their talent when they're so short on talent. You've got Daniel Bryan, who's the champion that's going out with a neck injury.
And they are stretching this thing.
They are, and that's fine. I mean, now it makes sense to use the wife, I guess, and now people want to tune in to see what's he going to do. Okay, fine. But he's not wrestling. You know, you've got other guys that, John Cena's in this angle with the Wyatt, so he's not a top guy right now. He's not being used as a top guy. Now is the time. You need to have some stars stepping up. And when you've got 6 guys that are all top guys in one match together, you need the other guys to step up. You need to make new stars. And where was Dolph Ziggler last night? Where was Kofi Kingston last night? Where is The Miz? Where are these guys? And Barrett, who was on the show, but he didn't wrestle last night. These are all guys that should, he does, and he should be there. I mean, all these guys should be stepping up, not just as mid-card players, but stepping up to become a top guy, and they're not even using them correctly because they're giving more time to Torito wrestling a 6'9" guy or 6'6" guy or whatever Drew McIntyre is, who's selling for this little person, and is just, it drives me crazy. Drew McIntyre should be one of those top guys, as far as that goes. Just use the talent correctly, and especially when you're hurting for talent as it is.
This is the time when the new stars should be, crafted, and it's not happening right now. You're right, where it was Dolph, Miz, and people like that. Drew McIntyre, I think, might be a little bit of a stretch, but where were those guys?
But at one time, he was there. And, I didn't even mention this one.
Please.
Damian Sandow. What What in the world? Why? Okay, first of all, you already had the comedy gimmick with Adam Rose. You had that. That's fine.
And don't forget Torito.
And I know, but Adam Rose was there for the comic relief.
Oh, you mean in the match?
In the match, he's there for the comic relief. It's just there to build up swagger. So even if you're not going to use Sandow, who should be another one of those top guys who was almost there at one time and now is nothing. Why did he have to be Davy Crockett last? That doesn't make any sense. It did nothing. It didn't.
Just Tennessee booking.
But it didn't make sense because he wasn't making fun of Davy Crockett to berate the Knoxville fans. He wasn't out there to try to win over the Knoxville fans. He was just dressed as Davy Crockett, pretending to be Davy Crockett when it's Damien Sandow. Why? It doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm done. End of the rant. There were so many things wrong with last night's Raw, and I just want to pretend it never happened.
Okay, we can do that. Sunday's the pay-per-view. I think on Thursday we could probably talk about the show and talk about predictions, and we thank you for sticking with us. Who's right? Was the show, I don't think I was going to say it was a great show, but was the show tolerable, or was it as bad as Eric says? Should it have been flushed down the toilet, or what do you think? Send us some email. Our email addresses are at the bottom. In the meantime, for myself, the Rob from KISS FM, for Eric from WKDQ, we thank you for tuning in.
I love you, Alicia Fox.
That makes one of us.